Could you imagine Saudi Arabia and Israel, once bitter rivals, joining forces? It seems improbable. Yet in 2025, this unlikely alliance became a reality. This partnership marks a pivotal moment in Middle Eastern history. It has the potential to reshape the region's geopolitical landscape. How did this alliance come to be? What factors bridged the decades of mistrust between these two nations? The answers lie in a complex interplay of shared interests, regional dynamics, and global power shifts. The Saudi-Israeli alliance represents a seismic shift in Middle Eastern geopolitics. For decades, the relationship between these two regional powers was defined by animosity and mistrust. This historic shift signals a potential realignment of alliances in the region. It also reflects the evolving security concerns and economic aspirations of both nations. To understand the magnitude of this development, we must delve into the historical context that shaped the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Israel. Their shared history is marked by conflict, mistrust, and a lack of formal diplomatic relations. The origins of the Saudi-Israeli rivalry can be traced back to the early 20th century. During this period, the Middle East was undergoing significant political and social changes. The fall of the Ottoman Empire and the subsequent division of its territories by European powers set the stage for future conflicts. The rise of Zionism, a movement advocating for the establishment of a Jewish homeland in Palestine, and the subsequent creation of the State of Israel in 1948, intensified tensions. The Arab-Israeli conflict that ensued created a deep chasm between the two. Saudi Arabia, a leading voice in the Arab world, staunchly supported the Palestinian cause. This support was not just political, but also deeply rooted in religious and cultural solidarity. The Palestinian struggle became a symbol of resistance against colonialism and foreign intervention in the region. This stance put it at odds with Israel. Diplomatic relations between the two countries were non-existent, and any form of interaction was often marked by hostility and suspicion. The absence of formal diplomatic relations between the two countries reflected this deep-seated animosity. Over the years, various attempts at mediation and peace talks failed to bridge the gap. Over the decades, several factors contributed to the perpetuation of this rivalry. These include regional conflicts, ideological differences, and the broader geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. The rivalry was not just a bilateral issue, but was influenced by the interests and interventions of global powers. The lack of a comprehensive peace agreement between Israel and the Palestinians further complicated the situation. Despite numerous efforts, a lasting solution remained elusive, and the mistrust between Saudi Arabia and Israel continued to shape the politics of the region. Despite the long history of animosity, the seeds of the 2025 alliance were sown years earlier. The initial steps were tentative, marked by cautious optimism and a recognition of mutual benefits. A confluence of factors, both regional and global, began to reshape the geopolitical landscape in the Middle East. Economic interests, security concerns, and the shifting allegiances of global powers all played a role. These changes created an environment where cooperation between Saudi Arabia and Israel, once unthinkable, became increasingly plausible. The two nations, historically divided by deep-seated mistrust and conflict, found common ground in their shared interests. One significant driver was the changing global order. The rise of new economic powers and the shifting priorities of traditional allies forced both nations to reconsider their positions. The US, a traditional ally of both Saudi Arabia and Israel, began to recalibrate its foreign policy priorities in the region. This recalibration was driven by a desire to reduce military involvement and focus on diplomatic and economic engagements. This shift, coupled with the rise of new global players, created a vacuum that both Riyadh and Tel Aviv felt compelled to address. The emergence of China and Russia as influential actors in the region added a new layer of complexity to the geopolitical dynamics. Economic cooperation became a cornerstone of the new alliance. Both nations recognized the potential for mutual growth through joint ventures in technology, infrastructure, and energy. This pragmatic approach helped to build trust and pave the way for deeper collaboration. Beyond politics and economics, cultural and educational exchanges played a crucial role in bridging the gap between the two societies. These initiatives fostered a greater understanding and appreciation of each other's cultures, further solidifying the alliance. As the winds of change continue to blow, the alliance between Saudi Arabia and Israel stands as a testament to the power of diplomacy and the potential for a more peaceful and prosperous future in the Middle East. Section 5. A common enemy. Perhaps the most significant catalyst for the Saudi-Israeli rapprochement was the rise of a common enemy, Iran. Tehran's growing regional influence and its nuclear ambitions alarmed both countries. This shared threat created a powerful incentive for cooperation, pushing aside decades of mistrust. The threat from Iran manifested in various ways. Tehran's support for proxy groups across the region, from Hezbollah in Lebanon to the Houthis in Yemen, directly threatened both Saudi and Israeli security. This shared vulnerability laid bare the need for a united front. Section 6, 2025. A turning point. The year 2025 marked a turning point in Saudi-Israeli relations. Several key events solidified the alliance, transforming it from a strategic possibility into a concrete reality. These events included high-level diplomatic engagements, the signing of landmark agreements, and public pronouncements from both sides. These developments signaled a clear shift in the relationship. No longer were Saudi Arabia and Israel content with back-channel diplomacy and tacit cooperation. They were now ready to openly acknowledge their partnership and work together to advance their shared interests. Section 7. The Abraham Accords expand. The Abraham Accords, initially signed in 2020 between Israel, the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain, provided a crucial framework for the expansion of regional cooperation. These historic agreements marked a significant shift in Middle Eastern geopolitics, breaking decades of enmity and opening new avenues for diplomatic, economic, and cultural exchanges. These accords, which normalized relations between Israel and several Arab states, paved the way for Saudi Arabia's eventual entry into the fold. Saudi Arabia, a key player in the region, had long been seen as a potential partner in peace, and its inclusion signaled a broader acceptance of Israel within the Arab world. The success of the initial Abraham Accords demonstrated the potential for a new era of peace and stability in the Middle East. The agreements not only facilitated diplomatic relations, but also encouraged collaboration in various sectors such as technology, tourism, and energy. This cooperation has the potential to transform the economic landscape of the region, fostering growth and innovation. It also highlighted the shifting regional dynamics, with several Arab states prioritizing economic partnerships and security cooperation over the Palestinian issue. This pragmatic approach reflects a growing recognition that regional stability and prosperity are interconnected. As more countries consider joining the Abraham Accords, the potential for a cohesive and peaceful Middle East becomes increasingly attainable. The expansion of these accords continues to reshape the geopolitical landscape, offering a blueprint for future peace initiatives. Section 8. Reshaping the Middle East. The Saudi-Israeli alliance has profound implications for the Middle East. It has the potential to reshape the region's geopolitical landscape, impacting everything from regional security arrangements to economic partnerships and diplomatic alignments. The alliance also introduces new complexities and uncertainties. The alliance has been met with mixed reactions from other regional actors. Some view it as a stabilizing force, while others see it as a threat to their interests. The long-term consequences of this alliance will depend on how various actors adapt to the new regional order. Section 9. A new era. The Saudi-Israeli alliance of 2025 marks the beginning of a new chapter in Middle Eastern history. Whether this chapter will be defined by greater peace and stability or by heightened tensions and conflict remains to be seen. The alliance is a gamble, a high-stakes wager on a more secure and prosperous future. What are your thoughts on this historic development? Share your insights and join the conversation. The future of the Middle East is being written right now, and your voice matters.